Yeah. There we are. Okay. Sorry about that.
It's possible. I grew up without something like that. Probably some of you did not have computers at home when you were little, right? Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't hear you very well.
Then we need a microphone.
No, you just need to
Can you
speak
hear
up.
me when I speak a little bit up? Is that loud enough? It's important, because I don't hear how loud my voice is. So, thank you.
Do you want us to move your chair?
Yeah, come a bit closer. It's all right. So my name is Alice Potz, and I'm one of the successors of Roshi Kennedy, who is also, my Dharma brother's teacher, Carl Bachmann Roshi, and Roshi Rachel Teddy's. So my Dharma transmission was 5 years ago, and those other two Dharma brothers of mine are in it a little bit longer. But I was a practitioner in Europe and in America for the last 40 years or so. So what we do as teachers at the end is basically just trying to, help with what was so helpful for us and still is in my life. I don't know how I would be without this practice. And it's beautiful to be here this morning. I thank you for having me as your guest speaker. And it's an honor and a great opportunity to sit together. I mean, what else can we do? Right? So that's the best we can do. And it's not a luxury, I think, practicing as we do here. It's a necessity in this world, and I think it always was. But we feel it especially now because we live now. So for today, I actually looked at something that I love and spoke before in different ways. You can every day you could use the same text and you would say something different. And this one is probably one of those that you know. There are different variations of it, different versions, and it's a Zen parable, a classic Zen parable, a teaching parable, and it's about two traveling monks who encounter a woman who needs some help. And there are different versions, as I said, and this one is a popular one, a folk version that I like a lot, and I use this one, and I will look at it from different angles. It has a lot of layers. It sounds very simple, and it's easy to understand, but it is profound and has different layers, and we can also, always just look at a few aspects of it in a brief talk. So let me read this to you. I'm sure you have heard it, but listen, just listen. Two traveling Buddhist monks reached a town where there was a woman waiting to step out of her sedan chair. The rains had made deep puddles, and she couldn't step across without spoiling her silken robes. She stood there looking very cross and impatient. She was scolding her attendants. They had nowhere to place the packages they held for her, so they couldn't help her across the puddle. The younger monk noticed the woman. He said nothing and just walked by. The older monk quickly picked her up, put her on his back, transported her across the water, and put her down on the other side. She didn't thank the older monk. She just shoved him out of the way and departed. As we said, she was impatient and just wanted to get on. As they continued their way, the younger monk was brooding and preoccupied. After several hours, unable to hold his silence, he spoke out. That woman back there was very selfish and rude. But you picked her up on your back and carried her. Then she didn't even thank you. I set the woman down hours ago, the older monk replied. Why are you still carrying her? I love it. And it's a reminder. It reminds me to some things I do. And it probably sounds familiar to you too. So It's a seemingly simple story, you know, and I don't think it's hard to understand what it aims at, right? What does it tell us? You know, if you have a story in your head about something that just happened to you, which was unpleasant, you carry it still around with you, right? And it's good to do what has to be done at the moment very kindly, as this older monk did, and then, you know, let it go and move on. So again, this sounds, you know, very clear, and on that level it is. But there is more to it. There are more aspects to the story than, you know, meets the eye first. So forget for a moment that these are celibate monks and they're not even supposed to touch a woman, much less put her on the back and carry her around. But this is, for my talk right now, here not the point. I look at some other aspects. This would be an interesting one too. And maybe the younger monk was just upset because the older monk did that and wasn't supposed to. But it's more to it. So I've read an interesting reflection by a psychologist on this in Psychology Today. You know, there's an online version of it, and she had some commentaries about this story, about other things too, but that was one of the examples. And she wrote, "It feels good to let go, not when other people tell us to let go and move on, but when we ourselves see the necessity of it. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or whitewashing other person's behavior. It means protecting ourselves from the corrosive effects of staying stuck." And that sentence caught my attention. The corrosive effects of staying stuck. That's a really good point. All of us experience, we know how it is when anger and resentment can keep us stuck, right? Over and over and over. We repeat that. It happened in the past, but we cannot let go of it. And when that happens, we will be not really present to what's going on right now, at least not fully. And move forward with our full potential if we are constantly held back by something that, you know, keeps us occupied as a mind burden on our minds. You know? So if we get stuck longer, it is corrosive. And what does corrosive mean? It eats you up, you know, it's destructive in a way, without even noticing it oftentimes. We hold resentments over things that happened a long time ago. And it can make you sick. So when something is emotionally charged and unpleasant that happened to us and we cannot let go, what happens? And the energy, the spirit, the inner space that's ours is not fully available for what needs our attention here and now. So the younger monk continued to carry the burden of the ungrateful and rude woman on his shoulders. Why? Because he added to the situation a story in the head that was with him as a mental burden. So that's one aspect. And look at something else here, traveling. Just the fact that these were traveling monks. Being on a journey, of course, is always a wonderful metaphor for life itself. You never know what or whom you will meet when you leave your, the safety of your monastery, the zendo, your home. What will happen when you step out of the door? Whom will you meet? And what? So these two monks, were traveling, and so was that woman, obviously, in her comfortable sedan chair. You will probably meet humans on your way with selfish and rude and ungrateful attitudes, right? Happens sometimes. Most people are not that way, but some are. So, but you will also meet humans who somebody called guest houses, and you will just see who that somebody is. The older monk is such a guest house. A guest house, what is that? A simple lodging for a limited time. That's a guest house. The guest house gives the guests what they need and then let them go. They don't hold you. I mean, they would like you to stay a bit longer if they make money of you, but otherwise, you're welcome. Your needs will be met. You can eat, you can drink, you can sleep there, you take a shower, and then you leave. They are nice guests, And then there are demanding and ungrateful guests. Anybody of you running a hotel or a restaurant? Yeah, demanding and ungrateful guests. But all are welcomed in the guest house. Their needs are met and then they move on. So the guest house is a poem by Rumi, the 13th century famous mystic, Persian mystic. I love that poem. It's called The Guest House. This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they are a crowd of sorrows, who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing out your space for something new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door, laughing, and invite them in. Be grateful for whatever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. It is a beautiful poem that I love, and the Zen story also that we heard. I spoke a bit more than once. This time, when I looked at it, what shouted out at me loudest was not so much the monks, the traveling aspect, but the woman. That woman in her sedan chair, in her silken robes. And I had to look up what a sedan chair really actually is. I had an idea. I know what a sedan car is, but a sedan chair that was used not just in old China, but in almost all cultures, carrying an individual person, basically in a closed little thingy that you can sit in, a closed chair with windows, and at least two pole bearers who actually carried you on their shoulders or however they did it, but at least two of them, porters, So kind of a private taxi on foot, to talk that. And in traditional China, probably, and not just there, only privileged people could do that. I mean, who can afford having a sedan chair and attendants carrying you around wherever you want, taking you over the puddles and over bumpy streets so that you can get from here to there. I can see myself easily in both monks. The one who, carried his mind-made burden around with him because he was resentful. I can identify with that. But also with the other one who just does the right thing at the right time, is free, doesn't, carry around the mind baggage, and is not attached to anything, in his head. He just continues on, and he was kind enough to help that woman and didn't mind that she didn't thank him. So that's why he said to the younger one, I put her down a long time ago, I'm carrying her up, please. So that's not difficult for me. What's much more difficult is to recognize myself in that ungrateful lady. And that doesn't mean that I don't say thank you to somebody who helps me. That's not what I mean. This is on a deeper level. So, should I just simply dismiss her as being rude? We know rude people, and I'm glad I'm not like that. Or can I be a guest house for that aspect in me, or for that woman in this story? Welcome, you spoiled brat. I could have said sometimes, to myself, welcome, you spoiled brat. Are you aware of how many privileges you have? Are you aware of that? You seem to be unhappy with all your wealth. You're still unhappy, and you don't seem to be able to feel the gratitude towards that stranger, the kindness of the stranger that helped you across that puddle. So that is a deficit. That's not something to blame her for and to say you spoiled brat. If you are not able to feel the gratitude for something that was really given to you as a great gift, what is that? That's sad. And I don't blame you, lady, I would say to her, because honestly, I too take many things for granted that are in my life that are pure gifts without me really realizing it oftentimes. That everything is given to me. Starting with the fact that I'm here this morning, that I'm here at all, meaning that I'm alive, to the air that I breathe, to the water I drink, the food I eat, the people who accompany me, the trees, the flowers, you know, the animals, the rain, the wind, the sun. So is that my doing? And do I take it for granted? Yes, we don't think about it all the time, but sometimes it's good to realize that how beautiful that is and how rich we are in that sense. The share of health that we have got, you know, and we think about those who are right now going through difficult times in terms of their health, like Roshikar, you know. I just want to think of him for a moment and send him good energy from here, from this wonderful group, you know, who are being together. It'll reach him. It'll be very helpful. So, but all the way down to the challenges of life that, you know, life presents me with, all of this has been given to me. So that was my insight recently. Everything was given to me. And now I would say to this ungrateful sister, you ungrateful sister, you are just like me. Let's walk hand in hand on the dry land where the friendly stranger has put you on and set you down. I know, 100-year-old Benedictine monk, he's not a Buddhist, he's a Benedictine monk, whom they call the grandfather of gratitude. Maybe you have heard about him. Let's learn from him. His name is Brother David Steindl-Rast. Maybe you have heard of him. So Brother David says, life is given to us. Every moment is given. The only appropriate response, therefore, is gratefulness. And Rumi again, be grateful for whatever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. And now I thank you for listening. Let's sit.